What's going on, everyone? We have some major news in regards to DeAndre Ayton heading over to the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers have been offered a 4-year, $133 million max offer sheet, and DeAndre Ayton has agreed to it. Thus, the Phoenix Suns have 48 hours to match the largest offer sheet in NBA history. Otherwise, he will become an Indiana Pacer. And this has huge ramifications throughout the league. I mean, seriously. First off, a sign-and trade cannot happen now. So that means that either he becomes a Sun till January, or he becomes a Pacer and the Suns completely miss out on him entirely and basically lose him for nothing. So no sign-and trade can happen. This basically takes the Kevin Durant to the Phoenix Suns out of the equation. This is something we've talked about on several occasions now, and we even heard about the reports that the Indiana Pacers were getting impatient waiting on Kevin Durant, that a sign-and-trade deal had been worked out, but they were getting impatient, and the Suns wanted to wait for Kevin Durant. And I imagine that if that's the truth, then the Pacers were like, all right, we're done waiting. And we talked about how the Pacers are possibly going to offer an offer sheet any day now. And here we go. Here's where the offer sheet is. So the problem is that now no sign and trade can happen. And so even if you do take on Ayton, now that's one less piece you have to send out for Kevin Durant. Now, the Suns could still maybe work out a deal with other ways. I mean, they still have like Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, guys like that. But I mean, Ayton was also one of the big pieces that would have went in any trade. Very likely a sign and trade. And then, Miles Turner would have went to the Brooklyn Nets. That was kind of the thinking. That was kind of the logic. So this could have impact on not only Kevin Durant, but potentially Kyrie Irving, right? I mean, if the deal is done, then I think that's it. Because I don't think the Nets, even with Kevin Durant, I don't think the Nets want to keep Kyrie either way. But we'll see. I mean, it could have some implications in that, right? Because if Kevin Durant stays, maybe they say, okay, well, let's run it back with Kyrie for a year. If it doesn't work out, Kyrie can just go sign with the Lakers. If we win a championship, maybe they both stay. Or, if we make it to the Eastern Conference Finals and it's a tough out, maybe they both stay and they don't want to be traded anymore, that kind of thing. It's also something we've talked about is we're seeing all of these effects, like the Donovan Mitchell trade now. That's going to have a huge effect on Kevin Durant. And this is why Brooklyn wanted to patiently wait, because they wanted to see how is the NBA going to shape up with the Kevin Durant trade. This is huge in regards to the Kevin Durant trade. It basically takes the Phoenix Suns completely out of this trade. They could probably work it out, but they're probably not going to be the team to land Kevin Durant. And now they're at the risk of losing DeAndre Ayton, and they can't trade for Miles Turner. So that brings us to Miles Turner. Miles Turner immediately becomes expendable now, right? Because are they really going to have him play power forward again? We saw how that worked with Indiana last time with Sabonis. So I think that he is in a deal. There's also like reports kind of floating around that they already have a deal worked out for Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, which, if that's the case, there is one team that has been reported to want both of those players for the last month now as a plan B, and many people thought it wasn't going to happen or it wasn't true, and that is the Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers are obviously trying to go after Kyrie Irving, and if they couldn't go after Kyrie, they wanted to try to get Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. And if they were able to acquire both of these players, that would make perfect sense for them. You can't get Kyrie, especially with all these things that are happening. If Kevin Durant stays, like I said, maybe Kyrie doesn't go. I still think it's going to happen, but you never know. So that let's say that doesn't happen. They wanted to pivot their time to Miles Turner and Buddy Hield. Not just that, it could just be the Lakers are tired of waiting and playing hardball. If the Nets are really like, and they're just like, dude, we're trying to improve our team. We don't got time for this. Either trade us or don't. Either trade us, Kyrie, or don't. We're going to move on. We're going to go over here and get this guy, and then you're going to be stuck with him, and you can figure it out. I mean, that's always a possibility too. But the Lakers want Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, and if everything works out, DeAndre Ayton ends up going to the Pacers, then I could see Miles Turner ending up being traded. I do. I could really see that happening, especially if whether it's the Lakers or another team. Even if it's not the Lakers, there's many other teams that would love to have Miles Turner. The only concern, though, is that he's a free agent after this year, so how many teams would trade to take that on and end up going that route, and then he ends up leaving for nothing. But Miles Turner has said that he wouldn't mind playing for the Lakers, that he would like to play for the Lakers. Buddy Hield is obviously the one that got away for the Lakers, so it makes sense that they would want to go get him. It's just we're seeing these dominoes fall. DeAndre Ayton was the big domino, right? Because if the Pacers signed him, which looks like they're going to, then Phoenix misses out on a center, and now they're in trouble and have no center, so that hurts Phoenix tremendously. Not only that, the Pacers now get their center for the future, right? And pair with Halliburton. You basically miss out on Kevin Durant if you're the Phoenix Suns. Fourth, this could have Kevin Durant might not even get traded now. I mean, it could affect the Kyrie Irving trade. It just affects so much. And I just think if you're the Phoenix Suns, you have no choice. You have to match the offer. Like, are you really gonna let Ayton go for nothing? He's still a valuable trade chip. You just won't be able to trade him anytime soon. So but I just think if you're Phoenix, you have to match it. I know it's the largest offer sheet in NBA history, and the Phoenix Suns don't have a history of liking to pay people. Like, the owner is very cheap and doesn't believe in paying these athletes this type of money. We've seen it time and time again. The Suns have missed out and lost a lot of big names because they did not want to pay those people. And Ayton, I mean, you're talking one of the biggest offer sheets ever, and the biggest offer sheet period. So I mean, I don't think Phoenix is going to match this. They have to though, right? I mean, you would think that you can't just let a 23-year-old center that's putting up 2010 just walk and leave you for nothing. I mean, maybe Phoenix can, but I think this is going to be a disaster either way. Because either they're stuck with him, and how is Ayton going to show? Is he really going to want to play for them? Is he really going to want? How awkward is that going to be? Is he going to be a locker room problem? Is he going to be, causing headaches and helping to implode that team? I don't know, possibly. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think about this? Do you love it? Do you hate it? What do you think about Ayton going to the Pacers? Do you think Halliburton and Ayton? Let's go. You got the youth core for the future. They're both under the age of 24. I mean, they're in a great position. Indiana is going to be real nice if they can keep DeAndre Ayton. It's interesting that it basically rules out the sign and trade. So there goes that. So what's going to happen with Miles Turner? Just so many more questions that still need to be answered along the way. But how do you feel about it? Do you think Phoenix should match, or do you think just let him go? I mean, I'm sure Indiana Pacers fans would rather just let him go. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, this was a bold move, Cotton. Indiana making the offer, rather than just trading straight up, they made the offer sheet. Because I'm sure the Suns, I mean, unless the Pacers did say it, but I would imagine the Suns would make the trade if they had to. If they called the Phoenix Suns and were like, look, we're getting tired, we're not going to wait anymore. We either going to do the sign and trade, or we're just going to offer a sheet to DeAndre Ayton. I'd imagine that the Phoenix Suns would probably make the trade, right? Because you don't want to miss out. It's better to get Miles Turner than just put yourself in a position to where you end up with nothing. I just think you have to match it. You have to. And then figure out a trade for him later, during the trade deadline or something. I'm sure the Pacers would be willing to trade for him then. I'm sure other teams would be willing to trade for him then. Everything's just kind of been at a standstill because of the whole Kevin Durant mess. And, DeAndre Ayton, the Suns, many believe that the Suns are going to be, in the contention for Kevin Durant. I don't know. I don't. Would the Suns be silly enough to say we're gonna wait for Kevin Durant? You can just have Ayton? Because how do you get Kevin Durant at that point? I don't know. Like I said, I think that this is a huge domino that just fell, and is gonna have some real effects on just everything. But we'll see. We'll see how it all shapes up. Again, let me know what you think. Do you think the Suns match? Do you think you have to match? You have no choice, or do you think that they would really let a 19-10 guy a game whenever he didn't have CP3 and Devin Booker? He was 19-10 on 65% from the field, so that's basically what you're going to get from him. He's a 2010 center that's 23 years old. Are you really just not going to match that? You're really going to lose him for nothing? I mean, that would be historic. And I mean, I understand the Suns are notorious for not wanting to pay people, but come on. I mean, you can't just lose him for nothing. You could always trade him later. But I don't know. Again, I think that this is gonna be the first domino, and we're gonna have a whirlwind heading our way after the 17th. I still think the 17th is a big day, just because after Summer League, I think none of the big stuff will happen until then. But again, love to hear your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. One last little shameless plug is I did start As It Stands Lakers. It is a channel just like this, dedicated to only the Lakers, because the Lakers are my favorite team. And on this channel, As It Stands, I talk about all teams, all sports, stuff like that. We have football season coming up, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. And I just wanted to make a dedicated channel to the Lakers to give the ins and outs. Now, all the big stuff, all the big news and stuff, I will still post here on this channel. But if you want all the ins and outs and just rumors and theories and just discussions just strictly on the Lakers, link down in the description or in the comment section. Go check out the channel, subscribe to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. That being said, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot, lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with all things sports. Join this wonderful community and all of our discussions. I'll see you all in the next one. Thank you.